Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back to a divine message. We're gonna see what Spirit has to say. What needs to be revealed? The Queen of Roses, wishes fulfilled, 5 of Keys, and the King of Keys. All right. So for a king, a King of Keys, his wishes are fulfilled. With the Queen of Roses, which she's been wanting, she's been instigating. But it was the masculine's wish fulfillment. The Queen of Roses was playing hard to get. But it doesn't look like this is a union. This might be a separation. That this the King of Keys wanted to feel a certain type of love, maybe from a specific person. And through this person, his wishes were fulfilled. But it was just one wish. So it looks like he wanted the bond to be established. He wanted there to be a relationship. And there was one formed, and that was his biggest wish. So he already got his wish fulfilled. The waterfall. But that's not all there is to his life. But it was one of the biggest fulfillments of his life, to form a bond with this Queen of Roses. But the Queen of Roses, she was doing her own thing before he came along. She was nurturing herself. She's a master gardener. She is a garden. But ever since this relationship came to be, it's been a waterfall. 6 of Forces. It's been a continuous flow of love that cannot be stopped. And it's marvelous. You marvel it. And that is the wish fulfillment. The fact that the love is a waterfall. It's continuous. It's ever flowing. So maybe there's a mission for you to get this waterfall to be abundant again, filled with water. And you did it. The masculine did it. But it looks like physically you guys are facing opposite directions. You guys may be taking opposite routes by design, by God's design. And that's what you guys had to understand, that God has a bigger plan. That what you truly, truly want in your heart may not be obvious. What God wants for you may not be obvious. It may not be as simple as you getting together with this person and happily ever after. God knows things about both of y'all that you know. You know deep down that there's other things you guys want to focus on. You guys have your own life. But you also have this bond, this connection that's growing. The Spirit is saying, just let the physical connection just happen naturally, because it's inevitable. The love is at a waterfall state. It's inevitably going to reach the ocean. It's inevitably going to reach its destination. You don't need to worry about that. The point of this bond is to reinforce your own life. It's to have a teammate, to have an energy that is always supporting you. And it's going to enhance your life. This person enhances your life. It's like having a friend always. Okay. Garden, yep. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. We have this little kid playing with the snake. Playing with the full-grown snake. You're a little kid playing with a full-grown snake. Overly sized, full-grown snake. Your inner child is playing with the most developed venomous side of you. The most developed beast within you. The master of beasthood is playing with your inner child. Y'all are one. The two sides of you, one. Two shall become one. That's what this is. You find your beast, your inner beast is like a roller coaster. It's fun for you. Your inner beast is your best friend. You may have a pet that represents your inner beast. Maybe he is a beast. This pet may be a beast, but he's really funny and soft. Okay. 6 of discs. Musician, channeling music, channeling your ancestors. All right, go way back. Spirit is saying for inspiration, go way back. All right, not sure what this card is. Maybe judgment. You got ancestors who love to party. You got ancestors who love when you just aren't focused on anything and you just let it all go. They love when you just dance. When you just do random shit. Okay. 5 of fossils. The Empress. 7 of fossils. I think this is the Hermit. So maybe there's 2 sides. There's 2 sides of what's going on. There's somebody near you who's being like haunted. They're being haunted by their demons, while you are the Empress. There's someone who is very fearful of the other side, and they're being awakened in a very fearful way. They're being awakened by shock. It's like they asked for this awakening, but they weren't respectful. They can't handle their inner demons. And this is somebody working against you. And on paper, they're much bigger. If you look by the eyes, they're much bigger. And it's an impossible task to leave them. But you're going to do it. It's inevitable. You're the Hermit. Everything they're playing with, everything that's haunting them is your friend. So the difference is that you're friends with the other side. With everybody on the other side. with every being that's ever been. You're friends with them. Even the darkness, even the vultures. And then there's somebody who is only thinking about themselves, who was playing an ego game. And they're being defeated by you. They could have their face everywhere. They could have their face printed out. But you're showing him firsthand the power of God. You wanted to give him a personal lesson. You wanted to give him a personal example of the power of God. So I feel like you are an Empress. You're an Empress. And this person is a toxic masculine. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? King of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Wands. All right. So Spirit is saying, don't worry about it. Don't worry about this person. They're defeated. Anybody that goes against God is already defeated. So you're not going against the person. You're not going against the vessel, you're going against whatever demon is within them that wants to go against God. So you're holding the space, you're holding the love, but it's not your problem to manage the demons. It's not your problem to fix the demons. The demons are going to be demons, and this person's filled with demons. Spirit wants you to focus on your own web. Build your own web. This beautiful web of yours. That's where the Wheel of Fortune's at. And the worlds that you create. King of Cups and King of Wands. Master of fire and water. That's where your Wheel of Fortune is. When you use what you're good at. You use what you're a master of. You're a master of emotion and of force, of action, of perseverance. You're a warrior. You're a trained warrior, and you're a trained flower. And that is very badass. That is the ultimate combo. The flowing warrior. Alright. So Spirit is saying all of this, the relationship, the demons, it's ever changing, but what's you is this. It's the King of Cups and the King of Wands. This has been the point the whole time. So you could be in your king state. In your king state. Alright. You probably went through some crazy shit. Some shit that you can't explain. Beyond words. But it was worth it. Because you're built to be the king. You're built to be the king of your world, of your life. You're built to handle. You're built to handle God. You're built to hold God, to be God. Ace of Swords. So, all those feelings, all the emotions, the pain, the suffering, that was to awaken your king state. And now Spirit is saying, here's the sword. Here's the sword to express it. The sword to express it. The divine sword. The divine sword of creation. Only being, it can only be wielded by those one with God. It's a sword that can only be used with trust. Trust in God. Okay. Five of Cups. Four of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. All right, you're doing emotional healing. You're saying goodbye. You're saying goodbye to your old emotions slowly. It's like you're going back looking at your old goldfish that already died. But you're breathing it in. You're crying about it. You're crying about what is worth crying about. Spirit is saying, prioritize your emotions right now. Even the King of Cups needs to cry like a baby. That's what makes the King of Cups the King of Cups. That he's able to feel his emotions. He's able to cry like a baby. And not feel bad about it, not feel bad about himself. So Spirit is saying, take your time. Four of Swords, take your time with this. If you're feeling like everything's stagnant, nothing's working, you can't create anything, it's because of your emotions. There's an emotional blockage. And the only way through is rest. The only way through is patience. The only way through is feeling it softly. The Spirit is saying, at the other end of this, emotional healing is the Ace of Pentacles. It's part of the game. It's like you go to war as a warrior of love and you get hurt. And you got to patch yourself up. So you're in like an off season. Your heart's in an off season, getting ready to be back up and running. The Magician. Yep. To be back in your magician state. You're a magician. And you know that. And maybe you've had work in the past that I feel like you feel like there's a past version of yourself that had it down more so than you do now. And Spirit is saying it's because of your love, it's because of your heart, your emotions. Whatever past version of yourself that you're reminiscing about, it was filled with a lot of love. It was filled with present divine love. It was like the climax. And it's going to come back. Spirit is saying this side of you you're reminiscing is going to come back even stronger. Guaranteed. And you're going to shock yourself. You're going to shock yourself with what you can do. How calm you are. How calm you are under pressure. Unfazed by the moment. You take over the moment. You take over your reality. You become God. You become the showman of God. And God doesn't do the ordinary. God will blow us away. That's you. Okay. Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and Four of Cups. All right, financial worry. Financial worry. Maybe business partners are stressing you out. There's people trying to get in your head with Five of Swords. There's people laying seeds of doubt. There's people laying seeds of anger, animosity. And you're aware of it. Spirit is just pointing it out. They're putting seeds that they want you to feel like you're so far away from home. They want you to feel like you're so, like, wow, you're so alone, aren't you? You have a long way to go to find love. That's what they want you to feel. But that's just not true at all. And even if it is, even if it is true, God has a plan. And God will work with your situation. God is a way of turning around any situation. And maybe these people have refused to believe that. So they took it upon themselves to force their reality, force their desires to come to be. And of course, they never quite quench their desire. Not without God. And for some reason, they like to sprinkle doubt on others. It's because they're afraid. It's because they've been in a loop. They're angry because they've been in a loop. And when they see that you may be in a loop, they want to remind you. They want to say, hey, you're in a loop. But little do they know, you don't need that. You don't need that advice, because you have the awareness. You're the magician. You're not going through a loop, you're going through a spiral. You know there's an other side. And magicians use all their ingredients. So you use different sacred practices, and they want to sprinkle doubt and fear that you're in a loop. Okay? So that's beautiful. That's beautiful that I'm saying this, because it's what I've been feeling. And it's Spirit is saying you're not in a loop. Some spirals are meant to be explored. That's all you're doing. Some magicians use the same ingredients forever. Some magicians make great friends that last forever. Some magicians use the same ingredients because it works, and they're friends. Okay? That's that. I love you. God bless you. Peace.